What's up, everybody? So it is painting day today. I'm going to start on the craft room. My first task is to cover all of these areas. Hang on, I'll show you. All these little areas along the ceiling. I guess at some point in time they had an ant problem maybe, and they put this stuff along the ceiling that I actually had to scrape off. It was almost like a gel that had dried, but what it did was, I guess it had like an oily consistency, so it left these spots, and they look almost like water spots, but they're not. So this is what I'm using. It is Kiehl's 3 Premium Interior Exterior Primer. It's supposed to be a high hide sealer and stain blocker. So it's only in this craft room and the room next door, which is our Beauty and the Beast room, that they did this on. It's worse in this room than it was in the Beauty and the Beast room, but I'm going to use this to go over those spots and kind of seal it so you don't see it when we paint the walls. And I'm gonna do that real quick. That was my very professional paint mixing, shaking skills. You know, it works. It does create bubbles in your paint though. So if you have like a paint that you don't want bubbles in, don't mix your paint up like that. Use a stirrer like normal people do. Okay, hopefully that got it all. So I have the Kiehl's primer up on the ceiling. I think it's going to cover it pretty good. You can kind of tell it gets a little bit brighter, but when you get paint up on the walls, you can't really tell at all. Like for instance, this is the Beauty and the Beast room, and that's where all of the areas were the same in this room as the other room where they had that stuff up on the ceiling, and I put Kiehl's primer up there. Now that the paint is up on the wall, you can't even tell at all. So that is what I'm hoping for the room in here. So I'm hoping that when I get the paint up on the wall, you're not going to be able to even tell at all. Some updates in here. We did hang up, wow, that reflection is really bright. We did hang up the Beauty and the Beast picture in the room. It looks really good in here. Trying to get a good angle where you don't really see the window reflection. And I hung up these little basket of flowers. We bought little lanterns for all the rooms, and my plan is to cut out a Disney silhouette to put on there. These are on timers and they come on every night. And one of my co-workers gave me an aloe plant, and this aloe plant is just happy and wonderful here in front of this window. So now I just have to wait for the primer to dry so that I can start cutting in with the new paint. And in the meantime, I guess I'll edit a video. It is a perfect day to be painting, I guess, because this is what it is doing outside. So if you have to be in the house and not going anywhere, I guess it would be perfect weather to actually be inside of a room to paint. I found another place on the wall that I forgot to sand, so now I'm waiting even longer because now I have to wait for that part to dry because I sanded it and I put this wall texture, orange peel texture stuff on it so that it matches all the other places on the wall. Good morning, everybody. I am getting ready to go upstairs and start on the craft room paint. I don't know if you can hear the rumbling of Dave's Corvette engine in the background. He's getting ready to go to a car show up at the Margaritaville Resort. So he's out there doing whatever he does to his car before he goes to these things. Cleaning it, making it look pretty, I don't know. But anyway, don't know if you can hear that noise in the background, but that's what that is, if you can. But I am trying to psych myself up to go upstairs and get cracking on this craft room. So let's get this day started, and here we go. We are also talking about getting a new camera pretty soon, so I'm excited about that. I really want to get better at my video skills and editing and all of the things that come along with being creative and creating content. I'm really not looking forward to painting, if I'm being completely honest with you. But if it's gonna get done, I have to get cracking on it and get it done. So I guess let's get started. All right, so as I've showed you in other videos before, we bought the Valspar Signature High Hiding Paint Plus Primer. This is the paint that we have used in every single room in the house so far. We love this paint. I've really only had to use one coat on all of the walls, except for just touching up areas here and there. This is the color that the middle one that we got to paint the craft room. I think it's very similar to some of the other paint colors that we have in the house, but a little different at the same time. I'm really digging like the bluish grays, I guess. I also got these Valspar crystal paint crystals additive to put in the paint because 2 walls in this room I'm going to paint with this just to give it a little bit of character. Since it is the craft room and this is where I'll be creating a lot of stuff and trying to be creative, I wanted to add a little whimsical to the room. So let's start cutting in. All right, guys, let's see what this paint looks like. Ooh. It's pretty. All right, let's see what this paint looks like. Oh, pretty. I like it. All right, here's one little corner so far. I think it is very similar to this paint that's out here, but a little bit lighter. Boom, boom, there you go. Okay, so as you see from the wall behind me, I have this one. You come into the craft room this way. Here's the door to the entrance of the craft room. So I'm gonna do this wall here and the wall that's behind the camera with just the regular paint, and then on this wall here and the wall that actually faces the street, we're gonna do the paint that has the sparkle in it. So I have my paint can here, and I'm going to dump both of these packages into the paint and mix it around, and we're gonna see what we have. So let's do this. I did not shake up this paint can before I opened it so that I could stir all the goodness into it. So let's open this package up, and it says that you're supposed to just cut a little corner and slowly, I should probably have something up underneath this paint can. Be right back. What can I put up underneath it? Okay, let's see. What do I have? Let's just use this. Even though I don't think that's gonna work because I'll just use this towel. How about that? So, bag of crystals. This is not like regular glitter. It's kind of like that mica stuff that I'll try to mix up the paint a little bit here first. Kind of that mica stuff that you see in bath bombs, bath salts, bubble bath. I have, they also use it in makeup a lot. Kind of reminds me of that. This is probably gonna take a long time. I can already tell. Okay, so, and you're not supposed to stir it all in. Let me go ahead and open up this other pack. So you're supposed to just cut a little corner so that you can control the flow. And you're not supposed to put it all in at one time. You're supposed to move your stir up and down to distribute the paint evenly. Part of the reason that I want to put it on this wall and then the wall with the windows on it is because with the windows facing this wall, the light reflecting off of it, you're going to be able to see the crystals in the paint a little bit more than you would if I put it on the opposing walls. That was one bag. And when the light reflects off the top, I can see it, so pretty cool, I think. Pretty cool. Okay, now let's try the same technique with this bag here. Just adding a little bit at a time. Oh gosh. Oh. Okay, now I don't know if this is gonna come out on camera, but when you look at the paint and the reflection of the window, you can kind of see the sparkles. All right, so now I'm gonna use my handy dandy little pour here, and I'm gonna pour some of this paint that we added the glitter to my little cut in paint bucket, whatever you want to call it here, and start cutting in on the other two walls and see how that does. Now I can see the sparkle in here. I can see it. Okay, I have finished cutting in. Just had some cashews for a snack. It's like 2:30 in the afternoon, getting ready to roll the walls. I'll flip the camera around and show you the cutting in that I have finished. All right, so here we go. Hello, 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 hello. So I don't know if it will come up on camera or show up on camera. I think it shows up just a little bit. You can kind of see the sparkle. I'm digging it, I'm digging it. So got this wall, sparkle, and this wall here with the windows on it, sparkle. This wall plain, and this wall plain. So I'm getting ready to roll. I will have this room done by today. Then it's still going to take a while to do everything, because then after the paint is done, I still have to come through and do the trim around the floor, trim around the door frames, also paint the doors. So I have lots of doors to paint. I have this door here to paint. I have the door that goes to the outside hallway, because there's two doors for this bathroom too. There's this door here, and then there's this pocket door here. So I have to paint this pocket door. I also have to paint that door. And I also have to paint the closet door here. So all that's got to get done before we can completely say this room is done with paint. Then we also have to hang blinds too. So it's going to be a while before this room is actually completely finished, but at least it's well on its way to being done. All right, all of the walls are painted now, and the sparkle is just really subtle. You can kind of see it on camera. I am really liking it. I'm gonna call it a day on the paint, probably continue next weekend with the trim, and right now I'm gonna put my suit on and I'm gonna hop in the pool.